Welcome to the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise podcast with global sales trainer and professional speaker, Lois Kofi. Each week, it is her goal to share inspiration and education for you to be, do, have the best health and wealth and wisdom for your life.
Well, all right. And happy Wednesday. Happy November. Super excited to have you guys here on this special edition episode of Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. I'm your host, Coach Lois, sales trainer and podcaster who launched this program over a year ago now. We're almost to 200 episodes designed to inspire you, entrepreneurs, coaches, speakers, podcasters, healers, network marketers. We have an amazing community here inside of the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise Facebook group, wanting you to live your best life, being your highest and best version of yourself in your health, your wealth, and your wisdom. And I'm super pumped because some of you guys heard this on last week's show. I have a new program called Healthy and Wealthy and Wise Coaching, thanks to, largely in part, my new business partner, friend, colleague, all the way over in Spain. I'm here in Southern California. And we put this program together because after these past 12 months, I've been working with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you. And I've seen what's missing from most programs, what was even missing, to be honest, from my program, and what I see people struggle with. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guest today, and you guys are going to want to take notes. You're going to want to ask questions potentially, and you're going to want to maybe watch this a couple times, because Timon, his first business grew to more than six figures, and now hired by ambitious expert entrepreneurs who want to develop scalable high ticket offers, not only to six figures, but to scale to seven figures. And Timon is now a part of a program combined with me because I was definitely focused on mindset and lead generation and sales strategy. But Timon, what I saw, the biggest void for a lot of people to not get to six figures was their offer and their fear of selling it because they didn't have confidence or they didn't charge what they were worth. So I'm really excited to have you guys, or have you here today, and have you guys tuning in to talk about why does that happen and how can you help? So I'd love for you to take it away and share a little bit more about you, and then we'll dive into the content.
Yeah, for sure. There are a couple of things that I work with clients, and one of them is the offer. The other parts are typically business systems and scaling. So today we're really focusing on the offer part. And in the last couple of years, actually, I learned a lot about how to create an offer, not only that work well for you, but that's also sells really well to your clients. So I help clients and ourselves create $25,000 or even $100,000 offers that they then went on and started selling. The methodology, the strategy behind those actually also work for even low ticket or medium ticket. That doesn't really matter. But if you know how to create an offer that sells, then why shouldn't you aim to a higher price point? Which actually brings us back to what you were just saying and what the main topic for today is, and that's the mindset of the people that are making the offer. I mean, a lot of times that I experience with my clients as well, as soon as they created an offer that was way out of reach of what they were experienced doing in the past, they ran into the mental blocks and they just were not able to sell it. So it's a combination of the offer and your belief in the value of that offer and your ability to deliver on that, and your commitment and your mindset about believing that you can charge what you want to charge for that program.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I will say, I'm just going to give my own self as an example. Like, I failed forward. I didn't have a coach like you at the beginning of the pandemic. So for the first 6 months, as one of my friends, Sean Snowday, says, I stuttered, uttered, muttered. I did a lot of webinars. I did a lot of, hey, here's my offer, throwing spaghetti at the wall and making it stick. And to be honest with you, because I didn't have you and I didn't have the proper coaching mindset around medium ticket, let alone high ticket, right? I think my first offer was like a couple $100, and not to I don't ever want to demean anyone or anything. I mean, I still have a $97 monthly offer to this day because I want to help as many people as I can. But I found that when people paid less, they gave way less attention to what I was teaching. When they paid less, they didn't show up to the coach calls. When they paid less, they didn't take it seriously. It was almost like I was a serial dating coach. Like they signed up for my program, they signed up for this person's program, they signed up for that person's program, and they were getting nowhere fast. So it was my responsibility, I learned, to raise my prices. And then I hit my first 5-figure month when I did that. No surprise. And then I hit my first multiple 5-figure month, like less than 6 months later, because then I raised my prices even higher. So maybe you can talk about, what does it take? Like, I was lucky. I did finally hire a coach. I did finally, because of that coach's confidence in me, had confidence in myself, and I did a beta offer. I went through all of these things. But to keep it simple, how do you help people see that their offer and them have value, and price their offer right and validate it? So that's a lot for you to cover.
Yeah, I know. So the first thing, so what should you charge? And then, in the end, it comes down to what is the value that you bring to people. And hi, Scott, great to see you tuning in here.
Yeah, we have some
Hey,
great people. I just want to give a shout out to Karen. She's one of our Healthy and Wealthy and Wise coaching students in our program that launched this month. Woohoo! Way to go, Karen. And then Scott is one of our referral partners. So thanks for tuning in, Scott.
So anyway, so what we're talking about here is really how can you create enough value for your clients so that they are willing to pay you that amount. I mean, at the core, what I really love about business, and I think most business owners, that all the transactions that we do are on a voluntary basis. Like, it's not a government. We can just say, okay, you have to pay. So basically, you need to give enough value so that people will pay you, and they are happy to pay you because they rather have what you bring in value than the money that they have in their pocket. That's basically what you're trying to achieve. And a lot of time, what it comes down to is basically it's the perceived value, and it doesn't mean that you need to trick them or anything. I just want to make that clear. But it's basically it's not only about what you actually do with the value creation, but also how you present it and how it comes across to your clients. Sometimes you need to help your clients or your prospects realize what is the value of what it is that you bring to the table. And that's part of the communication about how you talk about your offer, how you position it. So that's part of it. So when it comes to the mindset, it's basically, the question is, how can you bring enough value to a person? So that for this conversation, let's just say take a price point of $5,000 as an offer. So one of the interesting things as an exercise that you can do is, if you have a single client that pays you $5,000, what could you do for that amount of money? What could you bring to the table? How much time could you spend on that client? What kind of training could you give them? What kind of support? So instead of saying, okay, well, this is what I do, what's the maximum I can charge? You can also flip it all around. Say, okay, I want to start charging this amount. So what do I feel comfortable that I should bring to the table, so that the other person on the other side is going and say, hey, that makes sense to pay you $5,000 for. So that's one part. Another way to look at it, and I'm not advocating for this, but basically a lot of people, when they charge by the hour, they are usually charging, let's say, maybe $50, $40, $20. So let's say you're charging $50 an hour. So another way to look at it is, can you create an offer of $5,000, which is 100 hours? Can you create an offer of 100 hours of your time spread out over a year, or maybe even 2 years? Like, you can say, okay, you pay me $5,000 now, and this is the amount of support that you're going to give me. Now, this is all the ways to basically to keep you thinking about the price point and to put it in perspective to what it is that you're doing and the value that you bring to your clients. Again, I'm not advocating that you charge by the hour, far from it, but it is a way to wrap your head around these kind of price points, basically.
No, I love that. I think people just don't value their time and they don't know what they don't know, right? That was me. Like I had been
Mhm.
used to selling real estate in a past life. So that was 100% commission. You work for free, really, for a really long time. And then with the plans of getting paid. And then I had direct sales, network marketing. Then I had personal training packages. So coming into this online digital space and having a digital offer, it was completely new to me, completely new to me. But I did have someone who told me, you know what, why would someone want to hire you for just 1 month anyway? Why couldn't you give them a longer duration of support? And I'm a 12-week year trainer, so I don't let anybody sign up for anything for less than 3 months because change takes time. Most people are unpacking not so great
Mhm.
habits in the first month. The second month, they're still unpacking, but they're implementing new. Then that third month, they're really in it to win it and things are sticking more. Science has proven that. And now you and I have a 12-month program, which I see 6 to 12 months is really my sweet spot too, because why hire me just for a little while and expect transformation to happen?
Yeah.
Transformation takes time. So that also helped me understand, maybe you can speak to that, how I could justify in my mind why raising to a $6,000 offer, which was my biggest high ticket at that time earlier this year, that got me to multiple five figures, even a 40K month, because I realized I don't want people to just love me and leave me, for lack of a better term, and just,
Mhm.
try and then go on to the next thing. I know people that I talked to a year ago that are still stuck, that are still not anywhere because they didn't commit to a longer time frame and pay a higher price point. So can you unpack that a little bit more too, the duration and the cost and why
Yeah.
that's so important?
Yeah, so actually it ties into one of the things that also really helps when you to explain to people why you charge a certain amount, and that's the results. So basically, what you want to talk about instead of I gave an example of how many hours you could give to a client, but actually, what you really want to talk about is what is the result that people will get in their lives from working with you. Whether that's for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, doesn't really matter. But if they work with you for 6 months, for 12 months, at the end of that period, what will have changed in their lives, what is different, and whether it's a growth in their business, growth in their personality, maybe a better relationship, maybe they lost a certain amount of weight. Those are all results. But that's really what clients want. They don't want to spend hundreds of hours talking to you. They actually want the results from talking to you and what you teach them and what you coach them on. So that's a big pivot. Now, and to your point, it's actually to get to those results. It is almost like an exponential curve. It starts out slowly with small incremental steps, and as time goes on, it starts speeding up and ramping up. So if you make your program, if you make your support too short, you never get to that ramping up period. You always stuck to that initial very shallow slope. So the longer you work with people, the longer you have that potential upward slope of the scale, basically. Because yeah, a lot of times, especially when we are us as coaches and trainers, it's about changing the habits and changing the actions of our clients, and that's difficult. So that takes time. So it takes time to change their habits, and then it takes time to get different results from those changes in habits. Yeah, so that's why I would definitely I did start it out as a coach by just saying, "Hey, hire me per hour or hire me per month." But quite quickly, I switched to year-long programs because I believe that in that way you can actually bring bigger results to clients as well.
I love that. We do. I want to give acknowledgement. And some of you guys, it's such a bummer. I don't know how to tell you to fix it. I've got a lot of comments on here, but I can't see everybody's names because the StreamYard does that for some reason. So Elizabeth, she's one of my diehards. She's always here. Thanks, Elizabeth. So good to see you. We have Charles Wood talking and supporting what you said about breaking down your hourly rate and how many hours will they receive. And then I think this is Leslie. I looked on Facebook while you were talking. Leslie agrees about the 6 to 12 months being a sweet spot for success. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm still a fan of the ascension model, but I've broken it down differently than what like Russell Brunson teaches. Like I do have a low ticket to have that kind of almost that try before you buy commitment. But then the high ticket is where it's at, because you know that people are really committed. But how does someone go, maybe if there's people listening here now who, and I know there are, I'm not going to name names because I know these people intimately, but if they have no high ticket offer or even a medium ticket offer, where do they begin to create that?
Yeah. So the first point to start thinking about is what's the problem or the results that clients actually seek from you, and try to make that as ambitious as you feel comfortable delivering on. So just take weight loss as an example, not because it's just a great industry per se, but everybody understands the dynamics of that. So a lot of people have the goal of losing weight, but typically that's they already thought of a solution. So it's not, maybe it's not even the weight loss that they're looking for. Maybe it's the look in their eyes of their husband that they think will change if they lose weight, or maybe it's their attraction to other people of the other sex that if they lose weight. So it goes deeper than just the weight itself. It's typically so when you start selling, talking about support, you can try to sell an diet, or you can say, well, hey, I'm going to help you to lose 30 pounds over the next 6 months. I mean, that's a lot, but I'm just making up the numbers as we go. But that makes it very specific, and then because it's specific, it becomes easier for clients to make a decision on a price point. So basically you work backwards from that result. And maybe if you say, well, and one of the typical responses we then get from coaches is like, well, I can't guarantee or I can't promise results, because it's the client that needs to do the work, and it's the client that needs to give the support. So one of the things that we do with that, we actually do link payments to results. And the way you can do that, and the way you can change your own mindset about it, that is, instead of thinking, okay, because basically when you say, okay, so the client needs to, I can't promise any results because it's the client's responsibility, basically you're not accepting any responsibility of the outcome. So instead you can flip it around and say, okay, what can I do to in terms of additional support to do help my clients get to that result? So maybe I do some additional follow-up, or I do some automated reminders that they have to do certain exercises, or I give them, if it's about weight loss, if they have trouble coming up with diets, maybe I just give them a menu for an entire month for all what they need to cook or what they need to eat every day of the week, right? So there are things that you can do in addition to what you probably typically have been doing that will give your clients more and more support to achieve those results. And the more of those layers you start building in, the more of those additional support systems you build in, the more likely the clients will be to achieve those results. So that's part of it. And then, like I said, and I mentioned it very briefly, so we tie our payments to results. So if you do that as well, so basically how that works, very in a nutshell, you charge a small percentage up front, so 25, 50% up front, and the rest of the payments are tied to certain either intermediate results of the working with you, or even the end result of working with you. So that's basically a risk reversal kind of strategy. If you do that, it's not one way. I recently explained it to people. It's like your price point, your sales price is $5,000, but you are charging them $25 or $1,250 upfront. And what you need to do is to make 100% sure that throughout the program you give all the value that they would ever receive in another program that they pay just $1,250 or $2,500 for. That's like your baseline. And then you start building on top of that and adding more and more systems and additional support to get them more and more results, which will then trigger additional payments to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the key too, guys. And we won't be able to go, because today was more about the mindset around pricing your offer right, and believing in yourself, believing in your offer. comes first, risk reversal, a lot of these different things, that payment plans, all of that. Timon and I coach on that inside of our coaching program. And so we can, we actually have an event we're going to invite you to at the end of this call, where you're going to have way more access and way more time for free to be able to learn more and dig deeper on that. So I did want to mention, guys, if you see value in this, please hit the share button. And if you have questions, now's the time to ask them, because we will go for only maybe another 10, 15 minutes tops. So if you're here and we have a really good crew attending today, please comment below with your questions. So I guess for me, one thing that was transformational was just doing it. Raising the price was scary for me. I'll be honest with you guys. I was just really terrified, like, oh my gosh, are people, and this was when I was still down at the 997 level. However, I when I created my beta, or some people call it Founders Circle, I'd love for you to talk about how maybe if someone's out there struggling and they don't become a part of our program and they're on their own trying to figure it out, do you recommend someone start with a 997, kind of like a stair step approach, like what I did, not planning on it, but before charging 3, 5, 10K and doing all the other like risk reversal payment plans? What are your thoughts about having that first attempt at raising the price?
That's an interesting question. I think to put it bluntly, if you for whatever reason, if you're not able to sell a $5,000 offer, then that's no good. So you have to start definitely at a price point where you are able to make any sales. However, what I would encourage people to do is have that 997 offer which they feel 100% comfortable with selling, but already have that higher ticket offer and offer that first to get that practice. So you always have that fallback option, saying, okay, well, if the client says no to that high ticket, or for whatever reason they don't buy it, or I don't present it correctly, whatever the reason, I still have that trusted offer that I know I can sell, that I've sold a dozen times maybe, that I can fall back on and instead get people into that offer. So I do think it's in the end it's action and implementing stuff that builds your confidence. But if you only do the things that you are comfortable with right now, you're still not going to grow. So you do want to stretch yourself and set some go a little bit further than what you currently are doing.
Awesome. Because I want to reiterate too, some of you maybe have never met Timon. He was on my podcast earlier this year. We were talking about masterminds. He and I met inside of a high ticket strategic alliance mastermind group. And actually it was when I got into that group that I was like, you know what, if these guys are charging 6, 10, 20 grand, why can't I do it? Right? I was like thinking about it. Think about this, guys. What if you could make 20K a month and have fewer clients who are really in it to win it and really committed? You could take more time off, like I have. I don't work nights and weekends anymore, which was like, oh, for me, big deal, right? And Timon's in Europe. He's a lot like me, and those family values, wanting to enjoy your children and your spouses or partners, significant others while they're there, right? Mm-hmm. Most people here in America, Timon, they kind of tend towards workaholism because we have that whole American dream thing, which I don't know if you guys have the European dream thing, but maybe let's talk about that for a minute. It's like, why have 5 different offers at all these different price points, right? Which means more customer service, because I did that, bought that t-shirt. Then you have more problems to solve, probably more time and attention, more people to give energy to that maybe because they didn't pay very much, they're not really doing the work on their side. They're just wanting to create a bit of a customer service nightmare for you. And I'm not specifically speaking about any one person, okay? But I've experienced it all. And I was starting to burn out and feel like I was like doing too much. So let's talk about that work-life balance component that I know you also care about, that having a high ticket offer can transform your life.
Yeah, well, it's just basic maths. It's you just don't need as many clients to get to the amount of revenue or the amount of income that you need. And if you have less clients, then I was actually and that's not our program. I was doing the exercise of I was doing a $500 a month program. I was thinking I was just doing the paper exercise. Okay, what can I do for $500 an hour a month? Sorry. And I said, well, let's just assume I have $100 an hour hourly rate, so I can spend 5 hours for every one client. But as I was going through the exercises, I was like, oh, this I can do in a group exercise. This I can do in a scalable way. I just create the training once and then it's done. For example, we were talking about recipes. So I could create some templates or some swipe files that their clients could use. That's only one-time work. So at the end, I was like, well, even if I charge them $500, even if I count, I don't even know how, because you can't have 2 coaching calls with each client a week. I mean, that doesn't make sense because they don't have time to implement. So it's like at a certain point, it's like, I don't even know if I can spend 5 hours on one-on-one client with clients that actually makes sense. So I think, and when you translate it to high ticket, it's basically, it's all about value, and that doesn't mean you spending a lot of time. It's really for you to take time to think about, okay, what is it that my clients need to get to those results. And the interesting thing is, because and we haven't touched upon it, and we haven't done it in our program. Well, we are with the 2 of us, but you can bring in outside expertise if you realize that there is a certain missing element that you don't have in your skill set. Because you're charging high rates, you can bring in someone else that does have that skill and that can bring that to the table, either as a partner or you hire them, whatever works as a business deal. But now it becomes more of a holistic offer, and you are facilitating that as the owner of that program or of that business. So yeah, definitely. Yeah. So bottom line, high ticket is a much easier way to make more income with less work, for sure.
Yeah, and then you can give so much more value to your clients, like you said, bringing in guest experts, bringing in more tools, more focus is key. I don't see anybody having any questions. So again, guys, if you do have questions, I'd love for you guys to get those answered. But maybe I'll just share one more thing that I've learned through this journey, because a lot of you guys know I had, before we're working and combining forces with Timon, I specialize in lead generation and sales mastery. And what I saw was people inside of my program who had a clearly defined offer and they were charging higher prices. They got to 5 figures a month faster than those who didn't. Those who didn't have a clearly defined offer and a belief in that offer, they couldn't get out of bed in the morning with as much excitement as those other folks to go out and generate those leads and go out and book those sales calls or discovery calls or strategy calls or consults, whatever you do, or even inviting people to webinars. Like, I'm so excited. I'm just going to go ahead and throw this up there so I don't forget, but November 17th and 18th, 2 weeks from today, Timon and I have produced an amazing double header, kind of like a masterclass, but 2 half days, masterclass / workshop. It's $197 value. That's what we're going to charge in the future. But since you guys are here, or if you're a paid client of ours, you get this class for free. In the future, we will charge for it. So we really want you to come back. And not only do you get the mindset and the ability to create your offer or improve it during that 2 half day, we're going to work on your sales and marketing plan for 2022. We're going to help you have, that 12-week year work-life balance and work smart, not throwing spaghetti at the wall, working 7 days a week, trying to just hamster wheel and grind it out. So I'll drop the link in the show notes. I'll drop the link below. But Timon, maybe if you want to speak a little bit about this 2 half day event and why you're excited about it as well.
Yeah, because I think it addresses one of the combination of the concerns that we both saw that were happening in the marketplace. It's number one that people struggle with lead generation and sales. Um, but and I think you realize a lot of people they think the solution is more leads and more sales calls. But what if it is actually your offer that just not what your people want to buy? So I think in this event we really do the combination of two by helping you. We actually do a lot of training and help you create your offer in the workshop, in the training itself. Give you some more a lot more specific steps to take to create your offer, and then using Lois's magic, then you can start having a tailored lead generation and sales strategy for that specific probably higher priced offer than what you currently have, going forward for 2022.
Awesome. Yeah, and if you've heard the phrase before, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And we're really passionate about people not getting stuck in the New Year's resolutions, annualized thinking strategy
Mhm.
either. So I'll drop that link again. Please sign up. Our gift to you, it's from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific time, Wednesday, November 17th, and Thursday, November 18th. So a great way to help you finish the year strong. Let's see here. Thanks, guys. We got Pat coming in saying, you appreciate this, having some inspiration. Yeah, trust me, no one succeeds alone. We're all in this together. That's why I created this community and this partnership with Timon. And super excited, Scott, for you to attend that 2-day. And it's interactive. We will allow you guys to ask questions. We want you to bring notebooks or your whatever your business plans for the next year and roll up your sleeves and get it done so you can finish the year strong and kick off 2022 with excellence.
Mhm.
Is there anything else you want to share, either even about our program, Healthy and Wealthy and Wise Coaching, Timon, or what else would you like to share, that golden nuggets to help our listeners have the courage, the fortitude to move forward with faith and a
Yeah.
stronger, better offer?
Yeah, I think in the end, what it comes down to in charging more is just something that I realized you typically we tend to underestimate the value of the knowledge that we have, because for us it's so natural that we have that expertise or that knowledge. So it is so important to try to look at it from your audience's perspective, who haven't been in the same place as you, who hasn't had the same experience, and they don't have that knowledge. So it's really looking at that to try to wrap our hand around why it would be valuable to someone else. I think that's a key part of yeah, growing yourself into start charging more for the value that you bring.
Yeah, I think it is about, I'm going to go Oprah on you, right? But knowing that you are worthy, knowing that you have a purpose on this planet, you're here drawing breath. I don't want to get morbid, but I had a scary experience driving after I dropped my son off. Thankfully, I didn't witness the accident, but I witnessed the aftermath of a motorcyclist lying on the side of the road, and a bunch of cars had crashed, right? And so, sending them good thoughts, prayers, vibes that they're going to be okay and live another day. But we don't know what tomorrow brings. We don't know when we may draw our last breath. And if you value yourself faster, better, stronger, if you put your knowledge and wisdom out there on YouTube, in your coaching programs, in your, blogs, in your podcast interviews, that legacy lasts longer than you. You get to be a light in the world, even when you're maybe, no longer with us, at least on the physical plane. So I don't know if that triggers anything for you, but I do know that was one of the biggest things that got me fired up in 2020, realizing, you know what, I'm here for a purpose. I was tired of sitting on the sidelines, tired of not charging what I, was worth, and tired of not really serving people at a deeper level. Because when you don't charge enough and you're not valuing yourself enough, you really almost come from a place of scarcity. And I know I felt like I wasn't doing enough and this, that, and the other. And it really was because I didn't value my time enough. I didn't value my self-worth enough. I didn't charge enough those first 6 months of the pandemic. So I hope that does something for your spirit, for those of you who are listening, because you matter. And you have, like Timon said, you have some genius within you. You have something to share to the world that you have the ability to be paid really, really well for.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
No, I think that's you hit it on the nail there.
So guys, if you saw value today, please hit the share button with your community, and please attend that event with us on the 17th and the 18th. I'll drop the link as soon as we're done. And then if you're tired of it, you're ready, and you don't want to wait for the 17th or the 18th, go to bookacallwithlois.com. I'll get you on a call, and depending on the person, if you want to meet with Timon, we'll talk about that. We do have a recorded crash course in creating your offer, an hour-long video that I can also give to you. So however you want to, reach out to me, or just go to bookacallwithlois.com and let's dive in. No need to wait the 2 weeks. If you're an action taker, take action today, and we'll get you up and running into the healthiest and wealthiest version of yourself and having your best year ever in 2022. So final question that I still want to ask you, Timon, even though you've been on here before, but now it's maybe a little bit different answer, maybe not, since you and I have a coaching program called Healthy and Wealthy and Wise Coaching that goes along with this podcast theme. When you hear that phrase, for you, Timon, what does healthy and wealthy and wise mean to you?
I mean, it comes down to the balance that you talked about earlier. It's for me, I have always appreciated family work balance, even when I didn't even had kids yet. Now I do have kids, and it's even more important to me. So that's the balance, and it's the healthy, wealthy. I don't think you can't appreciate all of the things if you don't have the other elements. So in the end, if you really focus on just one element, you're gonna miss out on life. And it's only the combination of having these three and probably some others as well. But if you have a combination of several elements in your life, that's when you really experience the full broad and the full depth of life, I think.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Great to see you today and have your wisdom on this show. So guys, please, if you're watching below, comment, what did you like best? What was your number one takeaway about pricing your offer right and the mindset shift that maybe you felt today? Some of you have already shared that this was very inspirational, but even more importantly, what are you going to take action on? What are you going to take action on? So comment below, book a call with me, sign up for the SOAR event. And until next time, I'll see you guys again on Friday for my next episode. Brian Baird will be our guest on Friday at our usual normal time, 10 a.m. Pacific. So until then, here's to your best health, your best wealth, and your best wisdom. See you guys. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, refer a friend, and please drop me a rating or a review. If you do that, I'll reward you with a free 20-minute free coaching session on crafting your journey to your best self. Reach out to me at lois@loiscoffee.com to claim your 20-minute slot. Until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.